You guys are good.
Okay.
Microphone's-
All right.
If you guys want one, we can get one ordered. No one's ordered one
Well, I think we need to with that.
with an injured eagle.
Don't have any Zoom. Any public comments? What?
For each committee.
All right.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm here on behalf of Reach Committee. So we have a nomination for Employee of the Month. I'll just read it here. So I nominate Victoria Slack from the Treasurer's Department to be considered for the Riley County Employee of the Month. And the submission says Vicki does an amazing job greeting the public, answering their questions, and maintaining a friendly and professional demeanor in a variety of difficult circumstances. She received several angry phone calls when we moved from weekly to bi-weekly reporting of COVID numbers. Instead of saying that's not my job, she stepped up, found the information she needed to help answer the questions, and managed to do it all without getting angry or flustered. I think she provides a very valuable service to the community and to the organization, and always displays excellent customer service skills. Vicki has been here for a short time and has already made a big impact. I think she would be an excellent nominee for Employee of the Month. So I'm going to present her with a plaque from Reach Committee for Employee of the Month and 2 movie tickets to go along with that.
Thank you.
Appreciate everything. that you
Wow,
do.
what an honor. Thank you.
So, thank you.
Oh, we gotta get a speech. We gotta get a speech.
You got 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, I am very honored to get this. I am fortunate to have a job I dearly love. I feel like I'm kind of definitely the first point of contact. And if I can make everybody's first point of contact a pleasant one, and then that's exactly what I love to do. I love people, and I am fortunate to work with a whole bunch of great people. And I just am so honored and thankful. Thanks.
Photo op time.
Yeah.
I checked her to get her over here. I told her that we were talking about the potential of eliminating her position.
Oh.
That's kind of cool. They only do that after the photo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
They got a whole lot better.
So
after that
exciting.
first
It did. I feel like 110% better. It really got up this morning.
What a horrible way to start a Monday.
Thanks, Darren.
Thank you so hard, Dad.
You're good.
Thank you,
Congratulations,
Dad. I
Vicki.
appreciate it.
Enjoy.
She's nice. Thank you.
She'll be disciplined for being away from the desk.
This guy is terrible.
Any other public comment?
Line out the door.
Could have offered free food or something. That's harsh.
All right.
Oh, goodness.
Your comments.
Okay, well, Thursday after our meeting, we had an interview with an applicant for the county appraiser position. No action was taken in the 2 executive sessions. Afterward, I ran several errands, checked in with cooks at the church for the common table, made a meal that night. I guess, well, everything went well later, and we served over 80 people, which is most we've served in the past 6 months. So anyway, also that afternoon worked on final details in the fireplace rough-in with my contractor. Later that evening, I attended one of the Thursday services at the church. Friday, had a meeting in the afternoon with Julie Gibbs at the health department. Walk-ins at the clinic are steady and they've been really busy. The COVID booster vaccines have slowed down. So I suggested that our PIO might be able to do a press release to remind people that we have plenty available. So she thought that was a good idea and she's going to contact Vivian to work out something. So they did have a community health meeting in Leonardville. It was well attended. And residents requested that blood pressure tests should be started again. Julia feels that having educational classes in the new ambulance facility would be well received and has lots of ideas on topics and services that can be provided. I would like to see her consult on that part of the facility with the architect to make sure she gets the right size.
Get the space we need.
It's available, yeah. There's a lot of things that can be done. Anyway, I plan to do some yard work on Saturday, but the weather didn't cooperate. Didn't want to be out there in the wind and the cold. So I went to lunch with a friend, did some shopping instead. Sunday, yesterday I attended Easter services at the church and played in the bell choir for both services, so it was a long day. I will be attending a law board meeting today and have other meetings scheduled for the week, so that's it for me.
Okay, well, hopefully everybody had a safe and wonderful Easter holiday weekend to start with this morning. Pretty peaceful and quiet on my end, but no people were out. It was funny, I went to Walmart yesterday to do some grocery shopping and I got to the egg aisle and I was like, there was no eggs. And I'm like, are we back to this shipping and receiving type of problem again? And then I forgot, oh, it was Easter. That's why there were no eggs. So dumbfounded me, but I realized that when I got home. But I brought some brown eggs, trying them out. They're organic.
The organic ones are good.
We'll see. We'll see on that one, yeah. So as Commissioner Folke mentioned, Thursday afternoon, we continued our process of interviews for the county appraiser's position. And once again, I'm glad we're continuing to work through this necessary process. Thursday evening, I attended the spring social of the Little Apple Brigade at the Strecker Nelson West Art Gallery back behind us here. It was attended with many members from the community as well as Fort Riley. We had a handful of selected officials there too. Food was served by the Batch Company. I don't know if anybody's had anything from there. Really, really good stuff. If you need kind of finger foods and that sort of thing catered, that might be a really, really good option, to be honest with you. It was good to see some of the leadership and members from Fort Riley in person. As with the pandemic, it's been increasingly difficult for them to be out in the public with civilians. Friday morning, I attended the ribbon cutting ceremony for the opening of the Aggieville parking garage down in the district. They've done a really amazing job with it, honestly. Everybody is going to need to check out that rally alley back behind there. Let's say both during the day, when you can look at all the historical pictures and the background of Aggieville. It starts all the way in 1880s and kind of works eastward there. I'm about a third of the way there. The rest of that's pretty fun for me. Some memories I remember, some I don't, but we don't need to talk about that this morning. They've got purple LED lighting up and around and then that display area, so I bet it looks pretty cool at night too. And for me, it was also nice to get to see the undeveloped space on the south side of the structure that we've been really talking about pretty heavily over the last almost 2 years now, believe it or not. So it's set up pretty well for anything that wants to move into one of those locations too. And got some pretty cool security stuff into place there. You can use with an app and you can check to see if there's parking places open when it's all done, and pretty neat stuff. So yeah, they've only been talking about parking down there for as far as I can remember. So I don't know if it'll solve it out right with everything going in, but it's a pretty good start. Friday afternoon, I tried donating blood with American Red Cross as part of our blood drive here at the board chambers, but apparently blood pressure issues still exist and prevented me from doing so, but did want to use the opportunity to point out that county and the country altogether are still facing massive blood shortages. So those donations are crucial and they do save lives in the process. Saturday morning, met and spoke with the Raleigh County Republicans at Vista Drive-In. Major topic of discussion there was a recent salary and personnel discussions and surveys being looked at by the various entities, and the dialogue was pretty contentious, to say the least. I guess that is what it is. Representatives Mike Dotson and Ron Highland were also on hand to give some updates from Topeka and kind of what to maybe expect when the legislature reconvenes here shortly. I also wanted to pass along and send my condolences this morning on the passing of former K-State President Dr. John Weefold. Wanted to mention that his vision and focus for the university during his tenure redefined and moved K-State into the future and made it kind of what it is today, and I think kind of really transformed our region at a time where it was really, really needed and necessary. His character and his passion and his spirit will live on, and I think in the hearts and the minds of every member of the K-State family, and he will be dearly missed. I had a chance throughout my time to meet him twice, and just always down to earth and cordial. I mean, I've heard stories, but I mean, those things are what they are, but seemed like he was a pretty good guy. So lastly, and I'm going to go and break this news this morning. It'll be announced here a little bit later probably as well, but also late Friday afternoon, I did file for re-election of this commission seat. Took some careful consideration and conversation and dialogue with community members and staff and friends and family and just the whole 9 yards here over the early part of the year to get to this point. They really do have a clear sense of duty and responsibility to help shape and move Riley County through this post-pandemic era, and to try to provide one that will provide some prosperity and vitality and stability for the area for hopefully many generations to come. And for me, it just kind of becomes a lasting legacy at that place for me, considering that this is a place I've called home and grew up in. So something I'm clearly engaged in at this point in time. And I certainly have the energy and desire and determination to help us lead through some of these challenges and issues that we faced and help build that strong foundation. So felt like with everything that's happened here over the last 3 years plus now, including the pandemic, I didn't really get a time to do a whole lot. So that's what the next 4 years for me will be about. And hopefully it'll give me enough time to accomplish those things. So we'll see how it goes in 2022, but we're officially in at this point in time. So, and with that, that's all I've got.
Well, Thursday afternoon after meetings, I attended the NBAF Community Liaison Group by Zoom. They're starting to move into their on-site offices. The contractor is finishing the punch list and installing some equipment. The commissioning will happen this summer, is when they turn it over to the owners. At the end of the summer, the staff will begin testing and startup of the labs. And this takes 1.5 years. They actually started work in there, just to testing everything and trying to make sure everything works. And they're hoping our next meeting will actually be in person. Then Friday, I got a call from a resident about the sewer lagoon and our requirements. I talked to Perry and to Craig about it, kind of returned their call. Returned their call to kind of get some information this afternoon. Surprisingly, there's 2 sides to the story. Imagine that.
At least.
Yeah.
Only 2?
At least. Yeah. Saturday, I had Easter with my son and his family, and then the afternoon we went to the zoo. My wife knows Savannah, the head zookeeper, and she gave us a tour. We got to see the new exhibition Asia, and Savannah told us how each area it's designed. Each area is designed for specific animals, why they're laid out certain ways. Discussed each of the animals by name as she interacts with them and stuff, and she could call out their names, and a few of them would turn around. They recognize her voice. They turn around and look at her. It was really great. I mean, she did a great job. It was like there's sloth bears like to dig, and they went out. They got some sprinklers in their area. And the first thing they came out and they found one of them yanked up the head and pulled up the pipe. And the guy, she said she called the bluegill people put in these. I was concerned. Well, how many days were they in there? Just half an hour.
Now that's not very nice.
Yeah. But there was one of them digging and rooting and stuff, and she hollered it out by name. Looked up at her, went back to digging again.
Yeah.
Sounds like
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Then, no, and also Friday, I did pick that first item from the garden, one asparagus spear. All the others were one shot out of them. I'm not a fan. My wife said it was really good. And then something's not right with the weather. When the kids have to wear heavy coats when looking for Easter eggs in the middle of April, something's out of whack.
I'm wearing shorts on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with that, we'll go ahead and get her started.
First item we have is 2022 asphalt overlay program bid recommendation.
I'm gonna have to get back to my front page here.
Okay, I would make a motion to approve the bid for alternate 2 from Schilling Construction Company in the amount of $1,740,740.50.
I'll second.
And moved and seconded to approve the bid from Schilling Construction. All in favor?
Need a motion to approve the highway use permit, granting Ferguson trenching permission to work in the right of way of directional bore, mini excavate fiber duct installation along Marlette Avenue.
Fiber, huh? Good deal. I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve the highway use permit for Torgerson trenching.
I would second that.
And moved and seconded to approve the highway use permit for Torgerson trenching. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chairman, please. Next, I need a motion to approve highway use permit, granting Cox Communication permission to work in the right of way to remove power supply from Evergy pole and build new power supply on ground on Tuttle Grove Road.
Make a motion, we approve the highway use permit for Cox Communications to do work in the Tuttle Cove area.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the highway use permit for Cox Communications. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chairman, please. Next, I need a motion to sign and approve contract with Rothwell Landscape Inc. for the 2022 Riley County grounds maintenance in the amount of $19,602.
And this for just what areas again? I know I saw the historical museum on there.
Museum, Health Department, FCRC, and this guy's a little bit.
No, he can take his out. We can just let the grass grow there.
Let it grow.
He just let
There
it grow.
Give David something to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna call it natural landscape.
Natural landscape. I like that, yeah.
I did have some staff went in and they planted flowers.
All right.
I thought, I was gonna say something to these guys, I'll plant flowers. And they're like, no, we did that.
Oh.
So don't mow them off, right?
Yeah.
Well, don't mow them off, David. When you have to mow.
So we're gonna eliminate the
I-
building.
Get a
from this-
reduction on this.
When I was looking at this, it occurred to me that if we can't find some of the other seasonal help we need to do some of those mowing and other things, do we need to think about something similar here? I'm not saying with this motion, obviously it's separate, but I mean,
Yeah, this is continued on from, I guess, the last quite a few years.
Yeah.
That we've had this, we kind of reduced the duties they were doing. They're supposed to do some landscaping, cleaning some of that up, and David's crews are doing that now.
Okay.
So this is basically just mowing and some fertilizer.
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve the contract agreement with Roskell Landscape for 2022 Riley County grounds maintenance.
Second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the contract with Rothwell Landscape for the 2022 grounds maintenance. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chairman, please.
You didn't wear your hands up painting eggs over the weekend.
My adult kids did it this weekend.
Really?
Seen a couple of really cool adult Easter baskets this year. Not gonna explain too much about them, but they were just interesting, that's all. Must be your coffee I'm smelling this morning.
Must be. It's government coffee. In an outside cup.
Wow.
What is it?
Low bid coffee.
Sounds
It's not at Slam Against Scooters. It's
Sounds-
the
sounds-
Scooters Cup.
like my kind of coffee. Next, commissioners have Raleigh County Personnel Action Forms for John Griffin, for as Assistant County Attorney. It's for another, grade GG. Fawn is her name, and I'm not even gonna pronounce it. Try the last one for Assistant County Attorney, other as well, at a grade GG. Kelly Lunker, a new hire, as needed election assistant, clerk elections department. Scott Mulder, new hire, as needed election assistant, county clerk's election department.
Okay, on the other ones, are those ones that we have discussed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did the commissioners have any changes to the minutes?
I did not.
Now you get a motion to approve the minutes.
I can do that. I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as written from the, what was it, April 14th meeting of the Riley County Commission.
I would second that.
And moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the April 14th meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
On that person. Throw them on.
Hmm?
I think change my.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody away.
The agenda.
Commissioners, how the tentative agendas look?
No problem.
Any items for next week's press conference?
Nothing here.
Okay, commissioners, next at 9 o'clock, you have Elizabeth Ward. Thanks, Michelle.
Mine, they said they're at Easter, the kids do the eggs and afterwards they have an adult Easter egg hunt. The little bottles like you get on an airplane. They set those out. And they said it gets pretty aggressive, chasing each other.
For the one meme that said, it's amazing how a child can find 20 eggs in 20 minutes, but they can't pick up the room. Can't pick up the stuff off the floor.
Eggs in 10 minutes, but they can't pick up their socks and they'll end them on top of their floor.
Yep.
Yeah, my wife's mom still does plastic eggs with money in it for the
Mhm. Yeah.
kids that are, are 20-year-old kids, and
Oh.
so they can count how many each one has and has their name on it. So we hide those pretty hard, and it's fun to see how long it takes them to find them. But
Yeah.
they're on a mission to find them, that's for sure.
My family, we did something quite the same, but there'd be only one egg with money in it. So you had to find all the empty ones first.
Oh,
That's how cutthroat it was.
Well, you just shake them, then put them where they were. Is that how they did it?
Something like that.
We're up to 30. Is it 30? I think it's
No, it's more than that. It's 30. Is it 30? I thought I counted
Alright.
32. I quit on it. I quit on that. Although applications for the museum.
Oh, yeah, that's not right. Yeah. Let's deal with the bat cats. How they do that?
Yeah.
Finally pulling their head out of you know what.
We'll see. I gotta see it repeated before I'm.
We always do that against Texas, though. It seems like whether it's there or here.
Yeah.
Even the one they lost Saturday was a close
Yeah.
game.
I'm gonna get my hoops up yet.
Well, they played the toughest part of the schedule, so it should, in theory, get easier. So we'll see. Well, it looks like the Royals are going to do what the Royals typically do. Start out over April.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And my Braves aren't
Watch
starting.
it. You had close vote on Thursday. I don't think I just sit back there quietly.
I was throwing out sympathy.
Didn't sound too sympathetic to me.
It was a lot easier for that second vote to come up with a possibility than I thought it would be. Evan got a quick promotion.
Yeah. Yeah, a buddy in Southern Indiana sent me some video he took off of his phone of a tornado that just basically passed just north of him, like Thursday night or something there. Yeah, whatever night that storm came through here, ended up there. And early in the morning, he said he woke up, was sitting on the patio, thunderstorm, and all of a sudden, sipping coffee with the iPhone.
My favorite tornado story, if I was ever part of, was in law school. They had a tornado drop down out of the sky just long enough to wipe out the controls for the sirens for Topeka and then go back out. Bizarre.
It's kind of like the one.
I'm sure
here-
it wasn't immediate, but I mean, that was its real damage. That was it.
It's kind of like the one here that the only building that destroyed on campus in 08 was the wind erosion building.
I'll show you wind erosion.
I remember working at Manco at the time when we got the windows back, and it's got a low E powder coating on the inside of the panes. You know, the windows were destroyed, nothing was sealed, but all that powder was out of it. And everybody just sat there and just couldn't figure out how in the world that could happen. Nothing was broken on them. I mean, the windows look like you just put them in and reuse them, but the low E coating that kind of takes care of the radiation and sunlight and stuff was all sucked out of them.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Shows you what that pressure does when it's coming through.
Yeah. That was amazing.
You on your way? Sure. Bye. Never a good sign when you pick up that. You on your way? God, no. Thank you.
She was or wasn't.
You should have said technically yes.
As of right now,
I'm standing up.
Yeah, I'm almost there.
Yeah, I thought she
Yeah, I thought maybe she.
That's what I was thinking too.
Dialed the phone. I thought, well, maybe she can do that.
we'll have to give her a hard time because she's got emergency management services, not emergency medical services.
Guess you got another department, huh?
I guess.
The ambulance is still on there.
So I guess we're sticking you on 2 different boards this morning.
Yeah, I think one's enough.
Hence, everyone's, except your profession's confusion with what we talked about earlier for us lay people, I know.
Good thing I work next door. Good morning.
Good morning.
Is your cardio in?
Yeah, you know, whatever. Elizabeth Ward, Human Resource Manager. Apologies for being late. So I think you guys have all read through this, and David actually presented on this Monday? Okay, Thursday, yeah.
I don't remember.
One of those days last week. So he was appointed to the Kansas Board of Emergency Management Services. And that means that he will be going to Topeka 2 days every other month. He's already been doing this. This isn't a new situation for him. But I would like to recommend that since he's appointed to the board now, we continue to support his presence at those meetings and not require him to take any leave or use his personal vehicle.
How about me?
Sounds good.
It's similar to what we would do for other situations where county officials would represent us.
Okay, so we need a motion to do that, right?
Be good too.
Yeah,
okay.
okay. I would make a motion to support David's appointment to the Kansas Board of EMS as the Director of EMS Ambulance by having him attend the meetings under the responsibility of his position.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve, to support David's appointment to the Kansas Board of EMS. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Next commissioners, you have David up at 9:15.
I was reviewing the U.S. Museum Director.
Oh, yeah, we're so glad we got more.
Yeah, well,
There have been a couple of.
yeah, so
I think this last one looked pretty good to me too, from Gary County.
maybe from which part?
Gary?
Oh, I haven't gotten that yet. I was just looking at one from the county museum in Texas.
You'll probably be revamping that list.
Well, I'll bring you just, so far I've only added one to it, but I haven't gotten to the Gary County. So.
So how many are we up to now?
Well,
30.
yeah,
30?
30. David, did you have something?
I was just
We're just waiting for your next turn. Okay. I love you thank us for the support. Well, maybe not.
Small hint.
I know I did say thank you. Good grief.
I just wanted to make you feel like you're at home.
Between Elizabeth calling us emergency management service and you know.
emergency medical services.
Is that what it says on the?
No, you don't have to go back. I know.
Was that person who showed up late?
Yes. That one.
Gosh, sorry. I should have just left it as EMS.
Boy, this is.
And pretended to be, in the know.
There you go.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, that's things. Can you and Russell just, combine all your stuff and then I'll get it right?
No.
Okay. Dude, then I'll probably still not
I was
get it
gonna
right.
say, we had that discussion a long time ago.
Did you have a real discussion about that? Oh.
Not real. Not. Yeah, no.
No, thank you.
Okay, so that's, this one, right? And then- Okay, thank you, sir. I think somebody read that. Did I send that to you or did just Rich?
Must have been just
I
Rich.
feel like somebody. Oh, it's well.
You just gave me the title.
Trying to throw somebody else under the bus. You see that?
Yeah, no, but that's not their fault. It's my fault. I'm just starting to think, did you
It was
send it to
Michelle.
David? Because he would have noticed it.
Right. It had to be
To the
Michelle.
Joe department.
Right. Because Rich or I would notice that.
Obviously, yeah. No, it wouldn't.
No, I think I did. The thing is, a lot of times, it needs to be in at 3 and she'll bring it in at 2:55. I need to get this to Cindy and we'll just read it real quick.
Actually, I got it about
3:15,
There was-
we had a 3.
There was a bus right there.
Yeah.
And she will acknowledge it happened.
No, I mean, I don't think it was 2:55, it really was happening. I mean, that's for
It
sure.
looks okay, yeah, it looks great, go.
Whatever it is.
It's a good thing Cindy is so flexible, and just so easygoing.
Listen, the concept.
Well, the good thing is,
It was true.
most people are a little bit afraid of her, so it's kind of good too.
Oh, I'm afraid of making her mad.
I'm afraid of her. Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure, she's a gatekeeper, we gotta keep her happy.
It's because you may need her in the future.
Absolutely. Damn, she's listening to this eventually.
I asked her if she'd come over for me today. She said she really didn't want to. I said, well, I don't need her, but that doesn't matter.
Just cut off, right?
There's a solution.
This has just been like a recurring nightmare. And I said, I'm not doing anything, going anywhere, you know.
Could have been from button too.
Isn't it strange? It's just a movie test in me. Apparently it's not inside. I remember they did swab on those.
Don't be darned.
Well, that was strange. I said, this is strange. This is COVID. Like, now I remember.
That's phenomenal.
Must be a new deal. I don't know.
It could be just more attention to that kind of thing, I suppose.
Yeah.
The state and the feds didn't take any time taking that money out this morning.
I sent them a check.
I'd love to direct deposit, so I don't have to go through with all the pain of that.
Well, I normally do, but this time I run them checks and take them off the cash.
They take their time getting it back to you, but boy, they're on top of it when that's the other
I
way
haven't
around.
seen it yet.
Goes through.
Plus you have to spend the 53 cents on a stamp.
Well,
I know it's just 53.
You gotta buy some
I thought it was 50,
stamps.
isn't it 55?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't bought stamps in a long time.
Oh, is
I
it?
heard, yeah.
I pretty much do everything through digital means. So.
Well, they can
Yeah,
just
each
wait
month I
to get something in the mail and.
Oh, I don't think I have any. Well, some of the weird extras with the basic. they're all
Yeah.
Online.
Everything mine's either set up on subscriptions or it's just a couple of taps and boom. Maybe till the first of the month, I just pay all my bills at once and then you don't have to mess with it for the rest of the month, yeah.
But we got one credit card that doesn't come into 607. Everything else.
Credit card, but I don't really use it. It's there for emergencies.
You know anything
That's
about.
all.
Yeah, I know some people that do it and they pay it off at the end of the month. It's interest free, yeah.
It's a private retirement. It's similar to our 457 plan the
I did-
government has.
At one time.
So you just invest, like different mutual funds, invest in
Numbers have been paid.
retirement.
So they charge.
I gotta get my taxes.
Yeah.
Well, you got different tax bracket. I couldn't, she said I couldn't. Really move them into a regular IRA because of the $10 here.
Mhm.
Maybe this is me.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe so.
I don't know if you-
Yeah. Because you just paid the 457 that we have here. What is it
Yeah, the
today?
457K, yeah. Okay.
That 457 was an educational plan.
Excuse me?
It's 457 capers? Oh,
They're separate.
okay, that's what I thought.
So that's through the county.
Mhm.
Check into that.
It's a payroll deduction pre or post tax, and you can choose regular IRA or Roth IRA.
I'll have to see if I can do that. The additional value.
It's a good benefit.
You better hurry. That deadline's at what, 5 o'clock today?
I already sent the check, so.
And Evan is doing the 457 plan, correct?
Yes.
Good deal. Smart move, young man. When you're my age, you'll go, oh yeah. that
Yeah.
was
Oh,
smart
yeah,
idea."
it's a good idea.
Just when you get to his age, don't be so grumpy.
Depends on who's sitting in these seats. right?
See, Wycombe City, I really didn't want to come over today.
Don't listen to him. That's way off in the future.
Yeah. Way
It makes
off.
way too much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter.
Thank you.
and her-
Everything might be crypto by then and it won't matter.
It's still gonna matter.
My daughter and her husband both, well, he's in the service and she works at the federal government and they get matched. So they've been putting all sorts of money away, so. Before they even see it, so they, with their age, they will.
Do more than you want to do now and you'll be able to retire
Yeah.
early 50s easily.
Yes, you only regret when I started with just the minimum $20.
Problem is, I started out well, but I got into those scenarios where I had to use it.
You'll be amazed.
Yeah, so quick.
Get the counter view, just blow it all out.
Yeah, you don't know when your demise is gonna be, right? So enjoy life.
Yeah, see, we're gonna start a financial planning.
There you go.
It's called Disasters Coming.
Actually, what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up a booth at the farmer's market, free advice. It may not be good, but it's free.
Get what you pay for.
It's worth what you pay for.
And you realize this is the attorney and the EMS director talking. That's the scariest thing of all.
David's not in charge of marketing for the company.
Please tell me you aren't either. These are the people we take advice from, guys. I'm a little worried.
Stop by and we'll talk, Evan. We don't need these guys involved.
Just another satisfied customer.
Absolutely.
I thought that was, I was driving like, that's not a whole lot.
It's amazing what compound does.
Back in those days, I was.
Economy is taking a bite out of mine now.
Yeah, I got my quarterly statement.
For the last 4 years, and it's been going at a significant rate. And my wife showed me the last night, and I went, yeah, my figures.
I didn't even open mine. I said, I want to sleep.
There you go. There you go.
It's laying there on the desk. And then, no, I'm not gonna look at it. Negative things.
If you look at it, like back, is there anything else?
No, that's not gonna happen.
We're investing in distilleries. Kind of a way to get the best of both.
That's what they say in bad economic times. That's one thing that where the market grows. I'm just hoping my mutual fund managers realize that.
Jim Beam stock's sounding all that much better right now.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
You're getting more advice over there.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I hope it's better.
My advice, Evan, just talk to a financial planner. They know what they're doing.
We're here.
The advice might have been good, but the implication was not so good.
Good morning, Commissioners. David Adams, EMS Ambulance Director, with my monthly update. Starting off with operations call for service, we had 402 calls, which is about typical for this time of year. Starting to supposedly get warmer, start to see more activity, people out and about. 18 calls in North County, which is average. break it down by the stations. As you can see, Station 1, 149, Station 2, 108. And that disparity is bigger than typical. Usually they're within about 10 or 15 calls of each other. But I did some quick research and I really couldn't see why. Other than Station 1 is where event standbys come out of. And so we did have 6 of those. So, but just one of those things. Public Works 74, and then the airport 63. So like I said, the rest are event standby, supervisors write reports, or just demos. So, because there's 8 calls in there that aren't accounted for, and that's what they're for, just different events. So North County, we interviewed 4 PRN personnel for full-time for the 3 positions that were approved. So interviews went very well. We'll be making those offers here probably this week. So, and then we'll be able to bring them on. So then as soon as we're ready with the equipment, we'll be able to roll out that 12-hour first response scenario up north. So as I say, so equipment's come in. Everything that we needed has been ordered. Now it's supply chain issues we're working on. But there's really only a couple things that we're really waiting for to be able to go live with this, so that we just can't, we just have to have. But we're still on track for early part of June. So the leadership team, we're finishing up the operational model, because this is we'll have to write a new model for this 12-hour position up there. So, and looking at protocol changes, operational policy changes, things like that. So I know they have another meeting this week, but they're pretty far along. So I'm really pleased with what they've come up with. So, and then IT is doing their part as well. So we've been involved with Corey from the beginning, and because we have to have some Wi-Fi, we have to have computers and a printer and things like that. So he'll be ready when we're ready. So, and then GIS, we have to change what are called ESNs. So think of the county as little squares, little blocks. There's over 100 of them. And in each one, when a call originates from that area, it pops up for dispatch, and it tells them for EMS that it's this station is the first call, and then if they're out, then it's the second, third, fourth, whatever. So we had to change all those up North County to add this position to them. So Josh has been working with Sherry and GIS as well as Tyler at dispatch. And I think they've got that figured out and getting them built into the system. So they should be ready to go. Actually, we're going to have them ready to go mid-May, because you put them in the system, then you have to send it off to get them approved and done. So it takes about a month. So, but we're going to go ahead and go live with them mid-May. Tyler on the back end can turn them off so it doesn't confuse the dispatchers. And then when we're ready, then he can activate it. But those kinds of things, it just takes a while to get those things built and then get them. It's not a simple upload into the system. It's more complicated than that. But I appreciate everybody's work on that, getting those built and ready to go. So. And then we're doing some more testing. We've got some PRN positions open, and we're getting a fair amount of interest. And what we've noticed with this is there are people who are wanting full-time. So because we don't have a full-time position posted, so they're wanting full-time for when we go live up north. So what we're going to try and do is capture them to be PRN, to do their orientation and be part of our department, so that when we're ready, when the building is done and we're ready to go live, we'll already have those personnel in our department. We just transition them from PRN to full-time. So I think that's going to work well versus, we're 6 weeks out from having the building being done. Now we need to start hiring people. The idea is to have them already in place. So you're going to see some PRN come through here, but that's kind of the goal, A, for PRN, but 2, help fill that open in those full-time positions. But that's what we're doing there. And I think it's going to work well. We're trying to forecast, if you will, so that we're ready when the building's ready. So.
Just don't advise them on any, financial advice. Just purely professional, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna defer to Clancy for that. since
Gosh,
they
even
work for my
worse.
department. So,
They'll really want to keep working though, once we get into planning.
exactly.
They're gonna need to.
And then this wasn't, well, I didn't know it at this time when I put this in, but we are meeting with Anderson Knight this Thursday. Is that correct, John?
I believe so.
Yeah, this Thursday. So we're gonna have our scope meeting with them.
Good.
So we can kind of lay out how this is gonna look. And I've got my paperwork ready for them. I've sent it to our leadership team to make sure I haven't missed anything. So, well, you know, what we're thinking for the building, 2 bedrooms.
Oh,
kitchen.
okay. I didn't know we had a site located yet, so I,
So we're working on that as
okay,
well.
okay, gotcha.
So,
Yeah, the one thing, David, we talked to Julie about what she needs in the classroom area when you build that into the
okay,
proposal. She's
okay.
got some ideas on.
Can I make a suggestion on that? You know, with all the federal dollars and everything that we have, I think we need to be careful about all the extras that we tag on to this at this point in time, because we got a lot on the plate. And I would suggest that in several of these areas, there's community centers and a mobile unit and some other things that may facilitate that, where we don't have to put the extra expense into it. I get what you're saying. And I think we need to build a facility that works short-term and long-term, but.
But we already approved that back when we did the.
Yeah.
Just some.
We were thinking a community, like 20 holds 20 people for meetings and things like that, or that they could have some tables and chairs they could rearrange. So, but.
I guess that's something we really do need consensus direction from the board, because it was said, an additional space for whatever. I just know in visiting with Julie, they've done that in Randolph and it hasn't been successful. Things aren't well attended. That doesn't mean in 20 years they won't be. This facility is going to be there for a long time. But at the same point, Randolph and Leonardville already have, we had at our special meeting in Leonardville, a building that's underutilized probably right now because we use a polling place, it holds well over 100. So really, what is the board trying to accomplish with that space? And it's up to you guys. Evidently, you think it's necessary.
I love the idea of what we're doing here, but I do think there's ways to accomplish that.
How
without-
big? I mean, do you want something to fit 20 and then maybe something that can be easily expanded into whatever the need may be in 20 years? Because at least right now, those programs haven't been overly successful when Julie goes out to do those in the rural areas.
But I guess my point is, with the public safety headquarters, we're probably looking at somewhere between 8 to 10 million, I'm gonna say, probably as a total. Remember, we're only gonna have $14.4 million total here. We get that second payment here in beginning of May, and we've got the Keats sewer situation to deal with that's dire. We've got the North County facility that's, and I would probably venture to say both of those are $1 million, $1.5 million projects. So we're eating that up pretty quick.
How big of a building do you think that's gonna?
Well, I'm talking with all the equipment and everything, with the ambulance and all the equipment total.
Yeah, I have no idea what the building cost would be, but I wouldn't think it would be.
I'm gonna say probably 600,000 or so. Then you include the ambulance, then you include the equipment. I mean, you're getting over 7 digits, maybe not a complete 1.5, but, and we've got, situation in University Park. We've also got 2 rural fire stations that are in the works that have extra costs attached to them. I'm just saying, we need to look broadly. That's all I'm trying to say.
Our classroom's not gonna be that big.
And you'll probably work into the space at some point in time, but that's.
Yeah, well, that's what we were thinking.
Yeah,
It's just a little kitchenette where they can have a coffee maker or things like that, but nothing, some tables and chairs and such, so, okay.
Does about that size of facility add-on seem about appropriate, something that'll
Yeah.
fit 20 or?
20 or so, like I said, just
20 or 30,
Can you
the
do
only
one?
thing is then you have to add the parking lot to.
Right,
Instead of
well,
2
exactly.
cars,
Yep.
you're gonna have to have more parking lots.
Yep, absolutely.
And the thing that I really thought, because like I said, it's not only for now, but for 20 or 30 years. In 20 years, there may be more of a need for even expanded EMS ambulance services, so more space to expand it right there. So it'd be beneficial.
And then as regards to the public safety headquarters, Arch Images will be here this Friday for most of the day. They're going to meet with, I think we're gonna have a meeting, and then we're gonna start with rural fire and emergency management, doing their space study needs. Then they're gonna come over to EMS, do our space study needs, then they're gonna do the space study needs at RCPD. So, so that is what's coming. So this week, and I know some survey work has been done over there in the EMS health department area as well. I don't know if it's completely done, but I know they've been over there surveying it, and there's stakes in the ground and such. So, but so starting to move forward a little bit. So I'm excited about that. I continue to participate as part of the county policy update working group. We should be done in the next year.
Then it'll already be outdated, so you'll just work on it again, won't you?
So we're working hard on that. So, but I appreciate being a part of that group. I've learned a lot and such. And then I just wanted to throw a shout out to dispatchers. Last week was the National Telecommunications Week, which is Dispatchers Week. So I know there was some posts on social media. We took them some cookies as we always do. You know, if you ever get the opportunity to go sit down and just spend a little time with dispatch, it's eye-opening. They do fantastic work, and it's work I know I could never do. But if you ever get that opportunity, I'd encourage you to go over and sit down and kind of just see what they do and how involved that job is. And you know, not only do you multitask, but you're dealing with people having a really bad moment, whatever that moment is, and how they handle that with such professionalism and class. It's just it's really impressive. So, but so education wise, yeah, we held our first EPC, emergency pediatric care class. Really excited about that one this year because it was an updated class. So so there were some things that we were hoping to see different with this program, and we saw it. So really good. Fort Riley came over and helped teach it, and then brought a couple of their I believe their physician assistants over to take the class as well. It's part of that partnership with Fort Riley that we have. So, and then community outreach. Now's the time they start getting busy. So they participated in the community bike swap. We took helmets down there and helped fit kids with helmets. The polar plunge, our department participated in that. Then this last weekend, they were part of the Easter drive-through at Hy-Vee. So had our ambulance out there for demo for people to come see and to talk to the crews. And then coming up, I believe it's next weekend, but I could be wrong. It's a youth adventure challenge out at Wildwood Adventure Park. So the zip lines. So we go up there a couple times a year and have a little display, and so the kids and people will come see what we do and such. And then in your package, just a breakdown of the calls. So really nothing terribly surprising. Friday and Saturday were not the busiest days. Wednesday and Thursdays were. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So not quite sure why, unless it's cheap beer night or something, or in Aggieville. But but just goes to show, we never know on any given day. So, and then our call volume breakdown. And again, what stood out to me was we're busy during the day, starting about 10 o'clock, then it drops off a little bit, then we're busy in the afternoons. So it's just, really can't put a handle on why. It's just one of those things. So, and then you see the breakdown of some of those calls. Any questions?
Income.
Good.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, commissioners, there are no press conference items, so we have Mr. Holman at 9:45, so we'll do a break.
Commissioners, I'd like to ask for a motion to table the second executive session at 10:35. There's some more information that needs to be gathered for that. So I can table it till Thursday. A little bit earlier.
Go ahead and make a motion that we table 10:35 executive session to discuss a performance matter involving non-elected personnel.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded to table the executive session at 10:35. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Any discussion?
So does it hurt to have to take one off instead of adding one?
Yeah.
No, it just means the next time it'll add 2 to
I
make
gotta
up
make a
for it.
comment, he usually doesn't make our meetings shorter.
That's true. Kind of made me a little queasy. I don't know if I left it.
Okay.
And it was just that bad. It didn't matter what the was before.
There's a little kid, at the same time as that 20 to 27-year-old.
Yeah. I made the point.
I need to be smarter.
So I can sell them for
Get some points when I can.
That's all I do. I'm just damage control, 24/7.
Not storing those points.
I'm trying to someday. They don't last very long. Successful.
Okay, I'm not talking about those. He's in here because he's in
That's your broader understanding of it.
Yeah, that's good.
Stairs instead of.
Said you can do that famous. What they call monkey line. Grant on the channel. I know it was in, but they were angry.
Somebody's good.
I don't know if they were trying to push it out, escape or what. They did not like having people
Life Planet of the H.
That's dead, that's the kids, you see it's harassing, you know, they were chasing, chasing, that's what the kids chasing. And what? She puts hands up there, ain't that hands, you know. Christians got some challenges sometimes to go in. I don't know what. Yes. I'm sure it's lost.
What do you think from Josh?
Yeah, I'm trying to see on,
One citizen? He's all worried.
I don't even see where we're discussing that today. It must be part of the budget discussion.
And he's from Scriptures, notice that guy develops a personality. Yeah, he's not gonna let you know that this is my place.
It seemed like everything.
It's all, it's not like Omaha, so it's not that big, but everything's uphill there, it seems like.
Very good. And verify people that have lived
Sunday, big ferry, it's less of the old stone columns. That's what they had for. They open all up, but. They'd be smart. hydrants. This, even the. Light is the work, well, it's not. Hydrants and so on. That's a great tribute. Yeah. You know, she does so much of these things that. It's very interesting. Acting like there's intense. I see this lion standing up like this. I can't. They got it. We were there. Spring a little bit. So she did this. She can take as long as you want. She does. She's she was one of this. Yeah, true. Special.
Sounds good.
That last minute took about 5.
Yeah.
Good morning, Commissioners. Clancy Holman, Riley County Counselor. First item I have before you is the usual pending projects issue. As is practice, the italicized items are new material since the last meeting, kind of again, a snapshot of various items. Maybe of some interest. And I do continue to leave material on there from prior activity on some of these because we'll be revisiting the board will be some of these issues. And it could be helpful background to at least know what was done previously. Again, from a snapshot. But if you have any questions about anything that was added, or on anything that's on there previously, if you'd let me know now, I'll address that. I'll move on to the commission agenda report. All right, let's do that. All right, this commission agenda report, as the subject matter indicates, is presented for approval an environmental protection agency order for compliance on consent, and it involves a University Park Sewer Benefit District. As the card indicates, this is a document presented to Public Works that I've worked with Public Works over a period of weeks with representatives of the Environmental Protection Agency. They have become involved because University Park Sewer Benefit District holds a permit from KDHE allowing discharge of the system into Tuttle Creek Lake. For a number of years, there have been issues with the effluent chemical levels. And EPA has jurisdiction over this kind of thing separately or in cooperation with KDHE to safeguard the levels of pollutants in effluent as it's treated. And it's treated effluent that is discharged into the lake. It's not raw effluent. It never is. But as you would expect, they are pretty careful on the administrative agency, as you would hope they would be, both the state and federal level, to make sure that those levels are at a safe level to keep the lake from becoming contaminated. And so that's been the goal of these discussions with EPA, the Public Works, and myself. And the document that you have before you is the product of those discussions. I will say that the folks, their attorney and involved in this from EPA and their staff have been very accommodating in terms of wanting a full dialogue about what needs to be here in terms of the schedule, because that's the most important part of this. What kind of timeline do we have to make any necessary changes? And again, those changes are only going to be after a study that's done by a consultant that Public Works has engaged or will be engaging, who will evaluate what needs to be done in order to deal with this. Because the short answer is it has to be dealt with. Again, I do appreciate the cooperation we've had to this point with EPA, and I'm sure it will go on. They've been listening to us about timelines and listening to us about those things in the order that maybe just deserved a little bit of a tweak in terms of maybe timing or the ability to, if necessary, deal with issues in the final once the project's over with. But be glad to answer any questions I can at this point. If you don't have questions, I would just ask the board to go ahead and sign on this, and we'll continue moving forward.
I'd probably say there's not much of a choice at this point in time, really, is there? I mean, this is just a formality in terms of the discussion, but I don't think we really have an option, do we?
Well, we don't have an option in terms, we can't ignore it.
Right.
That is true. But I will say, like as I indicated, they've been, to my way of thinking, they've been very reasonable in terms of what we've discussed with them. And I think that will continue as we move forward. The important part of this is we wanted to highlight for them from the beginning. We are aware there's this issue over time and it needs to be dealt with, and we're going to cooperate with it as an entity, because you really don't really have a choice, right? In terms of, you can't just turn your back on it, obviously, and I know the board would do that. But we certainly, they were open to the concerns we had with the order, and it is a means of, by doing this consent order, what we do, as the car indicates, we avoid what would be only more expensive if we were to challenge, for example, their ability. This was not considered. If we were to take the extreme view and say, well, no, you can't tell us what to do here for some reason, whatever that might be. In the end, what we'd be involved in is simply both administrative and judicial proceedings to get us to comply. And the standards really for that effluent, for the treatment of it, are a matter of science. It isn't something that we really have much ability to say, well, it can't be. We accept that the permit requires certain levels of treatment. Certain chemicals cannot, and levels of chemicals cannot be in it because it is being discharged into the lake. So we have to deal with it. But we're going to continue to, they've been open to the idea if we need additional time, because as long as we're moving forward with trying to meet the requirements, that they're going to be open to at least listening to us. If we say we need additional time to do some element of the, either engaging a consultant or doing the work, making a decision on what to do about this issue, what kind of fix is put in place, that they're going to listen to us at least. And I think that's a sensible way to go. But you nailed it. There isn't a whole lot of choice in terms of the one thing you can't do.
You got to negotiate, to some point negotiate about what we're going to do instead of just saying, them saying, you have to do this right now. You got a timeline of what we're going to get this started and do this. And they're just agreeing that that's the right thing. Basically, now it's saying they'll.
Yeah, the order.
They're okay with what we're trying to do.
Exactly, and we have to just proceed. The one thing they don't want as an administrative agency on the federal side, and the one thing the state would want, is for us to simply turn our backs and say, well, we'll fix it sometime. No, here's what we're going to do. Here's the steps we're going to take, and here's our timeline. And that's what this does. I'm not saying we'll always agree on everything. I think EPA would chime in if they were doing so and say, no, the key is we're going to cooperate with them. We're going to be reasonable, and if and when the parties have to have a discussion, we're certainly going to have that discussion. And, like I said, I've appreciated their willingness to this point to actually listen to us and hear us through. Haven't gotten everything we wanted, but we've made a point of when we thought there needed to be additional time to ask for that. And they've been very open to the idea, well, if we can't do that, then we are going to listen when you say you do need more time, and we'll be prepared to talk if we need to. So and I know Public Works is going to be responsible about that. We've tried to make sure EPA knows that's the approach that this entity is going to take. We'll see where it goes.
And we have the engineer working on this at this point.
Not yet. Hope to get that to you Thursday. There is a major issue with funding.
Okay.
Where that come from and how we afford to do that. We'll start looking into the USDA revolving loan funds, but we need him on now. And the district doesn't have enough money to pay him what he's asking for.
Yep. As always, if it's only required.
Okay.
Well, I would make a motion that the board authorize the chairman to sign the document as presented.
And I'll second.
It's moved and seconded to authorize signing the document as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Chairman, please.
Thank you. And I also do want to thank John and Evan for being, very flexible in terms of those discussions with EPA and their representatives. That's all I have, unless you have questions.
You have to be more comfortable
So everybody stop.
now. Not the EPA. Not
Take care, John.
not
Take
the
care.
EPA.
Not comfortable without your, that's fine.
Sure.
I thought I was getting one.
Next, Commissioners, you have Clancy Coleman, executive session. Clancy's asked executive session going to go to full time.
I'm going to ask Elizabeth. I don't know if we really need 30 minutes. We might need 20.
Okay.
She'll be able to tell us.
I feel like, hi guys, it's me. I feel like we probably need the whole 30 minutes,
Okay.
It's not my
just because
fault.
we added a couple names, and I'll bring you over some printouts.
That's the 10:05 one.
Yeah. Fine.
Just remember, we made sure it was half an hour, wasn't me.
You stepped the executive session up, it's your fault.
This is very true.
This is not.
Okay. One is this respondent. We responded to University Park Sewer Benefit District and responded Public Works Department. So
I think they're all you.
Yeah, I think you can do that. You can do that, or we could have John sign it either way.
but I'd go ahead and sign both places then.
I think so.
Ultimately, you're the top of
Sure.
both of those.
Sure. They've got that because they're listed in the original, it's not a pleading, but the original document.
And we'll take up a fund if the EPA comes and gets you yeah.
And by we, he means him.
Dang. No love on this Monday today.
And Rich, when you get done with these, by sometime this afternoon, I'll come over and get them because I've got to send an electronic copy to them.
Yeah, how many copies? There's several copies, aren't there?
Yeah, there are. There are more than I actually ended up needing. So they only care about the electronic one.
Apparently you just care about showing trees.
I do. I care deeply.
Yeah, they're pretty unnecessary. Trees, yeah,
Yeah,
they just get in the way.
it's all that pesky oxygen.
Yeah.
Who needs all that?
Thank you.
You bet.
Appreciate it. It is just this one.
Just this one?
Yeah.
Cool.
Don't say it yet because he'll put two more to make up for the one.
Until the meeting is officially adjourned,
All right.
I
Gotcha.
don't count my chickens before the hatch.
Very wise.
Thank you. This is still just going to 10:35? Yes. It's Clancy's fault too.
Actually, it's Elizabeth's fault.
It's Elizabeth's fault.
It's actually the consensus of the commissioners, when I asked how much time they would need to review the applications, they said half an hour, so.
Just remember who blamed you.
Now you see, you can't throw us under the bus. It doesn't
No,
work
I,
that way.
if you're sitting right here in front of me, that's not right. Yeah, right.
I don't do it that way.
I'm sure you disagree with ours. No, I mean, that's what I'm going off of, because I feel like, I felt like we needed it, and then got a couple additions, so. I mean, I guess we really could, I could just tell you my suggestions, you could agree in 5 minutes.
Blindly.
See, I know where you went to college at, and I just can't do that,
I did
sorry.
not go to college at UNL, so don't assume, make assumptions. There are other schools in the great state of Nebraska.
Really?
See
Pretty
the
good
color
ones.
she's wearing today? Doesn't she look nice in that color?
It does.
Wine, I know, wine is a good color.
Well, it's more of a royal purple.
I would imagine.
Just need to admit it, you're one of us now, just admit
You
it.
know what's funny is I drove to Nebraska on Friday and I was literally wearing a purple undershirt and a K-State. I went on a 5K run and a K-State thing and I'm like in Nebraska, where I don't ever wear it around here, but here. And then I go home, I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's all right, everybody's transferring from there already, so,
Everybody-
right, so it's okay.
We're getting to her. They're gone. Uh-huh. Good to see you though, Alvin. It's good to see you though.
Turned around 3 different times there. Okay, here we go. It's 10:05, right? Yeah, okay. I'll go ahead and move that the county commissioners, including Chairman McKinley, Vice Chair Foki, and Commissioner Ford, along with Elizabeth Ward, Human Resource Manager, Rich Fargo County Clerk, and Clancy Holman County Counselor, attorney for the commission, recess into executive session pursuant to the non-elected personnel's exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act to discuss scheduling interviews for the position of county museum curator and to protect the privacy of the applicants. The open meeting to resume in the county commission chamber at 10:35 a.m.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded to go into executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
Your last.
Okay. Oh, let's see. I will move the Board of County Commissioners come out of executive session.
Second that.
Been moved and seconded, come out of executive session, all in favor?
Aye.
Also move that the record reflect actions shall be taken consistent with consensus reached in executive session.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded, actions will be taken in accordance with consensus. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next item has been tabled, so
That's right.
we're ready to adjourn on the board.
We'll go ahead and make a motion unless anybody has anything else. Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we adjourn the April 21st meeting of the Riley County Commission.
I would second that.
It's 21st, 18th.
Oh, yeah, it's the 18th.
You can adjourn in advance.
Oh, darn, we almost didn't have to show up.
Yeah.
for that one.
You know, we're not gonna say
Way to
anything.
blow a good thing, Tyler. Got yourself on that one.
April 18th, 2022. And it was right there in front of me too.
Move second.
Oh, second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn the April 18th, 2022 meeting.